Have you ever paused to wonder where that refreshing glass of water you drink comes from, or how the rivers that flow serenely through our cities and countryside are formed? Well, it's all down to the magic of the water cycle and river processes. So, how does this work? Let's embark on a journey to unravel this mystery, starting with the water cycle. The water cycle is a continuous, self-sustaining process that all begins with evaporation. Heat from the sun causes water from oceans, lakes, and rivers to transform into water vapor, rising up into the sky. This water vapor is then carried upwards by warm air currents where it cools and condenses into tiny droplets, forming clouds. This stage is known as condensation. The droplets in the clouds then combine to become larger droplets. When they get too heavy to float in the air, they fall back to the earth as precipitation, which could be rain, snow, sleet, or hail. Once the water is back on the ground, some of it seeps into the ground and becomes part of the underground water system. This is known as infiltration. The rest of the water, which flows over the surface of the earth, is called runoff. This runoff is what forms the streams and rivers that we see around us. Now, let's turn our attention to river processes. The journey of a river starts from a source, often in high, hilly areas. As the river flows, it erodes the land, carrying sediment with it. This process is known as erosion. As the river continues its journey, it transports this sediment along with it. This is the transportation phase. Eventually, the river reaches a point where it can no longer carry the sediment. This is when deposition occurs. The river drops or deposits the sediment. When the river reaches the sea or a lake, deposition continues, creating a delta, a landform that's created by the deposition of sediment carried by the river as the flow velocity decreases upon reaching a standing water body. To summarize, the water cycle is a self-sustaining process that involves evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. The water that falls to the ground either infiltrates into the ground or becomes runoff, forming rivers. Meanwhile, river processes involve erosion, transportation, and deposition. The journey of a river starts from a source, erodes the land, transports sediment, and then deposits it when it can no longer carry it, often forming a delta at the mouth of the river. So, the next time you sip a glass of water or gaze at a flowing river, remember the incredible journey that water takes and the processes that shape our Earth. It's a perfect example of the beauty and complexity of nature's systems.